Okay, the introduction of this video just does not suffice. It's one of the best videos that I've made in a very, very long time. And the reason for that is the results that we have seen. So a really close friend of mine, he injured himself a few weeks ago and he's got over that now. But we gave him a couple of drills to do, and these drills could massively help you control your club face better, hit longer drives, hit straighter drives, and compress your irons more. Rob's done really well here, so his club championship is this weekend. I believe he's playing in round 2 as we speak, so I don't know how he's going to finish. I believe he is up there tied for the lead after yesterday's first round. He's in the final group. I am absolutely buzzing for Rob. I'm so happy for him. I could not be happy for him. He's a lovely, lovely kid and a really good golfer. And the fact he's overcome this injury so quickly for me is outstanding. And hopefully these tips have helped him while he was injured. Rob, if you've won, absolutely fantastic. I'll be buzzing for you. If you haven't won, huge lessons learned, huge steps forward, and massive, massive congratulations for a great round yesterday. But guys, stay tuned to the end of this video. Let's see exactly how Rob does. If we don't get it at the end of this video, we'll do a follow-up video with Rob as well. I really hope he wins. And if he doesn't, like I said, just a huge step forward. Hit that subscribe button, throw a like on this video. Let's see just how Rob does. A very good friend of mine and a fantastic golfer. He's had a bit of an accident. He's broke his hand. Rob, what are you laughing at? You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You're not all right, are you?
Right.
Can we have a picture of that last week and I'll put it on? That looks really painful.
All right.
Rob, you've had an accident. Yeah. So just explain to people, we don't know how you've done it. It was you were lifting something. But
I was helping my dad, it got trapped.
So what's your handicap at the moment, Rob?
I think it's 6.
He thinks it's 6. Rob thinks his handicap's 6. Guys, I'm going to give him some tips to do, because some of you guys at home, you might have a injured hand. You might also just think, actually, how can I have some drills to help my game? And these are really good ones. So Rob, we're going to go left hand only. We're going to go right through the bag. So a couple of wedges, putter, irons, and a driver tip for you, just so you can keep going. Because how long do you reckon you're out for?
Another few weeks.
It's not going to be a long time, innit? Jordan's on, so he's got DJ Khaled's on. But Rob, so one of the tips that I want to give you is actually about controlling loft with this club, because controlling loft around the greens is really, really important. Can we get you to come back at a lower handicap once the injury is over? That's the question.
Let me know.
So a really good way for you to utilise your time, Rob, is obviously to keep practicing. It can be very frustrating. But guys, these are great drills to do if you haven't broken your hand in the middle of the golf season, because that would be a very upsetting thing to do. But if you are ambidextrous at the moment, you have use of both hands and you can use them, then using your right hand is a good way of learning how to release the club. Obviously, make sure you're using the body to release the club. You're not just kind of flipping your hands at it. The left hand for the right-handed golfer is generally the harder one, Rob. So this is where you might see drills from Pete Cowan, from Graham Walker, from some of the world's best coaches, just trying to control that loft and control the club face. The problem being, if you don't control your shoulders and your chest at the same time, you're not going to be able to get that bounce engaged on the floor. So ball position is going to be key, and you're also going to want to make sure that your right hand's out of the way. I like to just have it to my side actually, but just keep that club moving and make sure you kind of control the loft on the way through. So you can see there, a really nice way of controlling that. Don't hole it first time. But you can still get enough speed through there. You can still get enough check on there. Rob, let's have a look and see. Do you want to go 60 or 56 with this?
I'll go 56 this
56. So a really good way of doing this, guys, just making sure your sternum rotates around your body. If you struggle with your chipping, this is a fantastic way to improve. Rob, let's take a look at how you get on with this. Do you have any questions about that before we start?
No, it looked fairly straightforward.
Oh, that is delightful. Oh! So you had loads of speed in there. It has actually gone too far. We are playing to a target, so take a bit of speed out of it. Let's see if we can control that even better. Very nice, Rob, very nice.
Not as good as yours.
No, how do you feel about the takeaway?
Takeaway feels okay. It's trusting that the club's going to be square when it comes in and not like leading edge up, or... That's
exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to get that club square for impact and keep rotating through with the body and the chest. Nice. I actually preferred that. You got more dynamic loft to that one. So you feel like you're working the club back on a certain plane, or do you feel like you just...
Yeah, it feels a little bit steeper, and then I just try and let gravity basically do the rest. I can't force anything with it, so...
No, if you force it, you generally drag it across it, don't you?
Yeah.
See, that's the one where you kind of hang back a little bit.
Yeah, it just felt kind of all wrist instead of body.
Yeah, instead of a body release. And this is a great way, guys, to, practice, get utilising it, then stick your right hand on, and you can start to realise how actually gravity takes the club a lot more than you think, and you don't need to generally put too much speed into your chipping. Let's have a look at putting, then we're going to have a look at something a bit more exciting.
Oh, yeah.
With driver and irons.
Thanks.
So guys, a really good drill here for putting. It's a nice distance drill, and just by getting your left hand on it, you can start to, again, we talk a lot about dynamic loft, don't we, when we look at one-handed stuff, and just by controlling dynamic loft, it can help you massively get that distance control right. So again, we've got here, you can do it at home, you can do it on a putting green, or you can do it on a par 5 green like we are here, Rob. But generally what you want to do is you want to find the safe zone here. We have had this on the channel before. The safe zone's anywhere between the hole that could have gone in and the flag. If you hit the flag, it's -1. If you leave it short, it's -1. If you hole it, it's 2 points, and it's 1 point for your safe zone. So ideally, we're trying to just tot up the highest score here, so it's never finished. Okay. You're never done. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, we've got 5 balls. I think a good score is 6.
Okay.
So you ideally hold kind of the first 1 or 2,
yeah,
and then from there you just get the pace right. One thing which you want to be thinking about is that left shoulder. How are you releasing the putter just to make sure that it gets that dynamic loft correct, and obviously keep that ball position nice and proper. Nice, that's the first one in. If anything, I'd say rhythm was a touch slow. I don't know if you...
Yeah, it felt slow actually, yeah.
So you can work on that as well in this drill. Generally, you want to just release the putter down, don't you? You don't want to hit at it.
No.
Oh, he's raced it through. He's raced it through.
Oh dear. Felt nice, that one though.
Yeah?
Yeah, it really did.
But this is where you need to get the consistency level better. So although that strike was probably better, maybe your first one, the strike wasn't so good and you got away with it.
Yeah.
And a real problem with putting... Oh, I'll give you a point for that, because that would have gone in if it was online. A real problem with putting is if you don't know how you're going to strike it, how do you know how hard to hit it? That's a really simple way of putting it. You need to be able to know how you're going to strike it and how much dynamic loft you're going to deliver. That was a really good
Oh,
putt.
that's hard.
Is it?
Is it?
Oh, I thought that was good. That's minus... So what, we're on 1?
Yeah, I've lost count.
We're on 1. I thought 6 was a good score. But the good news is we're not going to do it again now, but you could just keep doing this.
It is one-handed.
It is one-handed. Shouldn't have broke your hand. So you see there, you start getting further out and your distance control really suffers, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that probably goes to show that maybe you struggle with distance control in general, potentially, from this distance.
Yeah, I think it's weird because you always rely on 2 hands, and as soon as you can feel more weight in one hand, it completely changes the way you, I don't know, the way you take the arc back as well, because everything kind of wants to go down here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
one thing I'd say with that is, obviously you do generally put with 2 hands, so I understand people in the comments saying, well, this doesn't make sense, but it actually does, because you need to be able to control the weight of that putter anyway, and if you start relying on your hands to do that rather than your kind of chest, your shoulders, your upper body, then that's when you start to kind of have to manipulate it a little bit.
Yeah.
Right, let's look at some irons, let's look at some drivers before we get wet. Yes, Rob, that was clean once. So guys, we are now going to talk irons, and then we're going to move on to drivers. Make sure you do stay tuned. There's a fantastic driver tip for anyone that wants to learn how to hit straighter drives.
It's filthy.
It's not the best, but you've been using it and you've injured, so you've not been using it. But, so the tip we're going to give you here is about controlling not only dynamic loft, which we've already spoken at length about, but also shaft position and shaft lean. You can actually put another shaft down on the floor just to help you with ball position and stuff like that. But then as you work your way up, I want you to note that yes, we're on the right plane here, the butt of the ball, the butt of the club is pointing at the ball, should I say, and as you start to work down here, your weight moves onto that left side and you get a tiny bit of forward shaft lean there. That's how we create a little bit of compression, that's how we create a really nice, oh, you took your kneecap out there, you're being properly done there. That's how we create a really nice strike. And again, left-handed, if you're a right-handed person and this is just your left hand, You might struggle with this, but actually it's less your hand and more your body. If you get your body working nicely, you can see that you get shank. But again, this isn't supposed to be easy. My body was too slow there. That's why I didn't strike it to the ball and through, and that was better. You see how I got a lot more projection with the body there. Don't be scared of getting these wrong. It's more about just trying to work your body correctly, and how good was my finishing position on the shot that actually worked. Rob, let's see a few. Try not to lose them.
No, I'm going to give myself a good lie as well.
Okay. Nice. That looks miles better than my attempt. Can we do that with the ball there?
I'll try.
Nice, Rob. That is absolutely unreal. And the reason why we're doing this with a bit more loft on it is just to make it easier. It's a hard enough drill anyway. We don't need to try and make this any harder. Good again. Turned it over a little bit, so the feedback we're looking for there is, did it go left of target or right of target? You can generally tell how your body's worked from that, can't you? And
like
exactly that,
one, yeah.
And also the interaction with the ground is going to be paramount as well to see just how we do with that. Rob, that is fantastic.
Thank you.
Shall we look at Big Dog?
Absolutely.
Okay, Rob, we've spoken iron, we've spoken wedge, we've spoken putter. Now it's time for the Big Dog. And this is where potentially, I know you were a pretty straight driver of the ball anyway, weren't you? You didn't really lose many golf balls.
Not too many.
Not too many. But this is a really good drill that, again, people can work on. So the first thing I want to do is make sure the tee height is correct. So let's put the driver next to the ball. And that's something which so many people get wrong, but it's something which you can work on even when injured. Now, I want you to address the ball for me, Rob.
Yeah.
And the big thing I want you to think about here with the left hand, get that right hand out of the way, is a nice shallow takeaway. Get that takeaway as shallow as you can whilst keeping that upper body moving. The lower body stays nice and stable. That's really, really nice. Now, when would you engage your lower body here with the driver, do you think?
Probably here.
Yeah, just about that. You know your onions from your apples, so I don't need to kind of teach you that, but it's a really good way of just honing that in, making sure that separation is apparent, making sure it's correct. We're not going to smash balls like this because it wouldn't make sense, but a really nice way of just making sure that that sequencing is proper. We filmed some videos today. Rob's actually working with me on the camera for a bit, aren't you? You enjoying yourself, Rob, on camera?
Oh, I'm loving it.
He's loving it. We've done a lot on kinematic sequencing, haven't we? And we've spoken about how to generate more power. So even there, you actually look like you're generating a lot more power than when we've played in the past, because you're loading up properly, you're separating the upper from lower body, those legs are working nicely. Then you would obviously start the downswing with a big hip turn, would you?
Yeah, I think I'd try and get my left hip out the way.
Yeah, there we go.
So I can...
I mean, if you do want to hit a ball with this, I'd recommend just a nice short. I know you want to,
We'll
don't
try
you?
it. Yeah,
but
yeah,
just
we'll
a nice
try it.
short swing, nothing nothing up to the top, maybe even a half swing. But the big thing we think about is that separation on the way back.
Yep.
So it's an upper body move, and then just keep that driver nice and shallow through impact. Not the best. Guys, there are a couple of drills that can help you massively, even if you are injured like Rob. It's been a really interesting video, but it can help you even if you're not injured. One of the big things there that Rob with drivers done is actually leant back to try and help it and give it more dynamic loft. That's something which so many golfers do struggle with. There is loft on that driver, there will be dynamic loft on that driver unless you really get the handle forward. So that's something which you could potentially practice. You look at where that ball has pitched, you've obviously come away from the
nice.
You've come away from the inside and you've tried to get it, you've just topped it a little bit too much. Whereas when we spoke about the irons and the compression there, you don't need to lose that posture and get up and out of it, do you?
No.
You could hit that 50 yards if you just concentrated.
Just... You'll sign us out. What? Thanks for watching.
Hey!
Something like that.
Go on.
Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.